Hi everyone, this is a quick review of what we introduced yesterday in class, and I'm making a handout and also a worksheet and an answer key. What I'd like you to do is, when you're working through this, is to look through this PDF file. You can either look at it on your computer or print it out. If you're looking on your computer, I highly recommend that you use another sheet of paper, write out the notes, and actually do the exercises. I'm also going to post the answer key as well on Blackboard, so as you're working on it, please check the answer key. The quiz that'll be on Wednesday will be based on this stuff, on this handout, and I will also ask you to review how to label notes with octave designation numbers. I put that on Blackboard, so please take a look at that, but what you need to focus on by Wednesday is to be able to understand the stuff that's on this worksheet, which we introduced yesterday in class, and then also prepare for the quiz. Okay, so as you're taking a look at this handout, the three things I'm going to ask you to do are write triads in root position with a given root. Also, for a given triad, rearrange the notes into root position if needed, and then determine which member of the chord is the lowest sounding note. I will use both the term lowest sounding note or the bass because they both mean the same thing. Finally, you'll analyze whether a triad is a root position, first inversion and second inversion, and that completely depends on which member of the chord is the lowest sounding note. Okay, I'm going to give a quick overview of each of these things, and just to remind you what we're talking about. Okay, for example, this first example, we see a F major triad. At the moment, the F major label doesn't matter, just know that it's a triad. It's in root position because it's stacked in thirds. So you can see all three notes are close together as they can be, and they're in thirds. That is to say, from F to A is a third, from A to C is a third. I call this sort of a shish kebab position because you can put a skewer right through it. So you'll notice that it's in root position like this when all three notes are either all in spaces, all next to each other, or all on lines next to each other. Either way, they're in thirds. Okay. Why is this important? Because when a chord is in this position, we can then label each note F, A, and C, F, A, and C, as the root, the third, and the fifth. The lowest one here is the root. The middle one is the third because it's a third above the root, and then the top one is the fifth because it's a fifth above the root. Okay, so these three labels, when we're talking about this F triad, no matter what position it's in, let's say if the F is an octave higher, if the A is an octave lower, it doesn't matter. Anytime you have these three notes, okay, the F, wherever it is, will always be the root. I'm saying that because for what we're talking about, the F, the root here, would not necessarily be the lowest sounding note. Okay, so that's where the inversions come in. All right, let's take a look at this example right here. So here, the A used to be an A4 over here, and now it is an A5. Okay, however, you can see that this is still the third. Okay, so even though this is now the top note, this is still the third because we would determine that the A is the third from the root position here. So the A is a third of this F triad. Okay, so no matter what position it's in, the A is always the third. Same thing with the C. Used to be C5, now it's C4, okay, but it's still the fifth. Okay. In this exercise, the first one, I'm going to ask you to write complete the triad by the given roots. Okay, so for example, the first one, if this is the root, okay, the root position triad would have a B and then also a D. Okay, so that's how you would do that part. The second part here, this note, the given note, represents the third of the triad. Right, so if this is the third, then this is the fifth, and then this is also the root, and that's how you complete that. Finally, these notes represent the fifth of each chord. So if this is the fifth, then you complete it by adding the third, and then also adding the root. Okay, so that's an overview of the first part. In the next video, we'll talk about how to arrange chords into root position.